The sky burned red. Explosions ripped through the fleet as alien ships tore human vessels apart. Smoke and fire filled space. Eli Hunter gripped the controls of his fighter, eyes wide with shock. Alarms screamed. Metal groaned. He felt the heat of a nearby explosion through the hull. The fleet was losing fast. Human ships fell one by one. Screams crackled over the radio. Orders came and were gone in seconds. Eli's squad had been wiped out. His hands shook, but he kept his grip steady. He had to survive. His fighter was hit. Sparks flew across the cockpit. Warning lights flashed. He yanked the ship downward and crashed into the debris of a destroyed alien vessel. The impact sent him sliding across the cockpit, but he rolled out before the metal frame collapsed. Around him, bodies and pieces of ships floated in zero gravity, some burning, some broken. Eli moved quickly, scanning for threats. Alien soldiers appeared. They were tall, lean, with armor that shimmered like living metal. Their movements were fast, precise, deadly. One lunged at him, energy blade slicing the air. Eli ducked, grabbed a jagged piece of metal, and swung. It shattered against the alien's armor, sparks flying. Another attacked. He rolled, kicked, punched. Each hit was barehanded. Each strike had to count. One wrong move, and he would die. He could hear a low hum around him. Alien ships above adjusted positions, guns flashing. Fires on the wreckage grew. Every step was dangerous. Every corridor could be a trap. He moved like a shadow, silent, fast. Instinct guided him more than thought. Then he saw her. She stood in the center of the wreck, taller than the others, armor different, more elegant. Her head tilted, eyes wide, and she stopped moving. Nothing in her body language said attack. She watched Eli fight, and for a moment, it was like time slowed. He killed 2 aliens with precise strikes, blood and oil mixing in the air. Still, she did not react. Eli felt a flash of something he had not felt in weeks. Confusion, shock, fear, not from the aliens, but from her. Something about the way she paused, almost like she could not believe what she was seeing, made his heart beat faster. The other aliens turned to her, shouting in a strange language. She ignored them. She took a step forward. Her movements were calm, deliberate. Eli raised his makeshift weapon, ready to defend, ready to fight. His mind screamed at him to survive, to kill, to move. Then the ground shook. An explosion near the rear of the wreck sent fire and metal flying. Eli was thrown to the side. He rolled to his feet, coughing, blood trickling from a cut on his forehead. He glanced at the alien woman. She was closer now, still calm, still watching. Her eyes locked with his. There was a moment, fleeting, electric. Something passed between them that he could not name. Recognition, respect, curiosity, maybe fear. It made him hesitate. In war, hesitation was death. A scream echoed from the burning hull. Another explosion threw the ship into a tilt. Eli grabbed a loose beam and swung at an approaching alien, knocking it back. He breathed hard, adrenaline pumping. Every nerve screamed to run, to fight, to survive. But her gaze held him, steady and unyielding. She spoke, a single word he could not understand. The sound was sharp and deliberate. The other alien shouted, but she did not move toward them. Instead, she took a step closer to Eli. Eli tensed, unsure if she would attack or let him live. Every instinct told him to strike first, but something inside him froze. He had never seen an alien hesitate. Never seen one stop. Never seen one watch a human fight without fear. The wreckage around them burned, metal twisted, alarms blaring. He could feel the heat on his skin. He could smell the smoke. And still she moved closer, calm, almost curious. Then the ground beneath them shook violently, throwing sparks into the air. Eli barely kept his balance. He looked up. The alien woman stopped. She tilted her head again. And for the first time, Eli felt that this war was about to change in ways he could not imagine. Eli blinked, trying to make sense of the alien woman. She did not attack. She stepped back, then turned and gestured. He followed, cautious. The wreckage around them groaned and sparks fell from damaged overhead pipes. Every step echoed in the twisted metal corridors. They reached a room filled with alien machinery. Red lights flashed. Screens showed maps and symbols he could not read. Alien soldiers passed outside the door. Eli ducked behind crates, heart pounding. She moved with ease, slipping past patrols like they were invisible. Her armor caught the light reflecting the fire from the broken hull. She paused at a control panel, pressed a few buttons, and a door slid open. She looked at him, a simple nod. He understood. He had to trust her. They moved into the chamber. Eli could feel his pulse in his throat. Sweat stung his eyes. Every sound made him tense. He felt exposed. She stayed calm, scanning, calculating. Eli noticed the way she carried herself like she was always ready for a fight, yet choosing not to strike. Suddenly, an alarm blared. Red beams of light cut the room. Guards came running. The alien woman stepped in front of Eli, raising her hand. The guards stopped. She spoke in her language, sharp and commanding. They hesitated, then backed away. Eli froze. He had never seen an alien stop their own soldiers. The woman turned to him. Her voice was different now, softer. She said something he could not understand. Her expression shifted, almost human. Her eyes were studying him, like she was testing him. Eli felt a chill. He had never been examined like this by someone so dangerous. A guard slipped past. Eli reacted before thinking. He grabbed a loose pipe and swung. The guard went down, stunned. Another ran at him. He ducked and punched with all his strength. Bones cracked. Alien bodies fell, one by one. He was moving fast, striking with precision. His muscles burned. His mind was a blur of instinct. The alien woman stepped back, watching. She did not intervene. Eli realized she was letting him fight, letting him show what humans could do. It made him furious and proud at the same time. His fists hit harder. Every strike sent sparks from armor. He felt alive in a way he had not since the battle began. A loud explosion shook the room. Metal bent and fell. Smoke filled the air. Eli coughed, eyes watering. He heard her voice, again soft but urgent. She pointed to a corridor. He understood. Escape. They ran through the hallways. Fire trailed behind them. Aliens shouted, guns firing. Eli rolled, grabbed a piece of debris, swung. Sparks flew. A beam fell inches from him. He felt his heart race, lungs burning. She stayed close, matching his speed, almost guiding him through the chaos. They reached an observation deck. Outside, the fleet was a nightmare of fire and debris. Ships spun out of control, explosions lighting the void. Eli stared. Every human he knew might be dead. Rage and fear mixed with determination. He had to survive. He had to fight back. She turned to him, her hand raised again. This time she spoke a single word he could recognize. She said it slowly, almost like testing him. Survival. Eli understood. She was giving him a chance, a warning, and maybe trust. Then the deck shook violently. The ship tilted. A massive structure collapsed nearby, sending a wave of fire and debris toward them. Eli grabbed her arm to pull her down. She did not resist. The heat scorched his face. Sparks rained around them. He could hear the metal twisting, the distant screams, the engines failing. Everything hung in the balance. As the smoke cleared, Eli looked at her. She was silent, her eyes fixed on him with a strange intensity. For the first time, he felt something beyond fear and rage. He felt a connection, something unspoken. Then a distant explosion cracked through the hull. A massive shadow moved across the observation deck. Eli's heart sank. The alien woman's eyes widened. She had never expected this. Neither had he. The next battle had already begun. The shadow moved faster than Eli expected. It was an alien assault vehicle, massive, with weapons firing at random. Sparks flew as its shots hit the observation deck. Eli grabbed the alien woman, pulling her down behind a twisted column. Metal screamed under the impact of each blast. He could hear engines groaning, alarms screaming, fire spreading. The air was thick with smoke and heat. Every step forward was dangerous. Every breath burned. She looked at him, her expression sharp. Then she ran past him, knocking a smaller alien soldier aside with ease. Eli followed, rolling under falling debris. His hands were scraped, blood mixing with soot. His muscles ached, but he did not slow. Survival was instinct now. They ducked into a maintenance corridor. The walls were lined with pipes, wires sparking from damage. The alien woman moved first, scanning. She gestured to Eli. He nodded, ready. Aliens were closing in, their footsteps heavy on metal. Eli picked up a loose rod. He waited, then swung at the first alien. Bones cracked. Another came at him. He dodged and punched, each movement precise, sharp. His fists found joints, weak spots in the armor. Each strike bought them a second. Each second was life. The alien woman covered him. She used speed and strength he had never seen. Guards fell before they could react. They moved together, silent, deadly. Eli felt a strange mix of trust and tension. He did not fully understand her. He did not know if she was friend or something worse. Then a loud alarm split the air. The fleet outside shifted. He heard a new voice, deep and commanding. The alien commander had arrived. The woman froze. Eli realized she feared this figure. Something about her confidence vanished. They ran again. The corridors twisted, smoke thick, sparks flying. Eli grabbed a pipe and swung at a door control. Sparks arced. The door slid open. They slipped inside, but it was a trap. Aliens poured in from another entrance. Eli swung, kicked, punched, but he was outnumbered. His arms burned. His chest heaved. He could feel his strength waning. Then she acted. The alien woman jumped forward, taking down 2 soldiers with fluid strikes. She did not speak, only moved. Her eyes were hard, focused. She saved him, but the commander was watching. Eli saw the recognition in her eyes, fear hidden behind pride. He realized something. She was risking everything to protect him. He should run, escape alone. He should, but he could not leave her. She had saved him. He trusted her, even if it was dangerous. A massive shadow passed over the ceiling. Explosions rocked the corridor. Metal groaned. The floor tilted. Sparks rained down. Eli grabbed her arm. She nodded once. They jumped together, hitting the floor hard, rolling to absorb impact. Dust filled the air. Every nerve screamed, but they were alive. Eli looked at her. Her armor was scratched. Blood streaked across her face. She did not speak. She only extended a hand, helping him to his feet. In that moment, the war outside, the fires, the explosions, the fleet being destroyed, felt distant. All that mattered was survival and the bond forming between them. Then a harsh voice came over a speaker. Alien speech, booming, clear. Eli understood one word: surrender. The commander was demanding her loyalty. She flinched. Eli realized the trap. She could be executed if he did not give himself up. His mind raced. Every choice was death. Every second counted. He felt rage, fear, and determination all at once. He knew what he had to do. He could not let her die. He could not let them win. He clenched his fists, his body coiled for action. Then the floor shook violently. A blast from the ship's core threw them both against the wall. Fire spread rapidly. Metal twisted. Smoke filled the corridor. Eli gasped for air. He saw her eyes wide, a mix of fear and trust. They were trapped. There was no easy way out. Eli gritted his teeth. He stood, raising his hands for the fight to come. They were alone, cornered, and the enemy watched. The next move would decide everything. The ship broke apart around them. Eli and the alien woman scrambled through corridors bent by explosions. Sparks fell from the ceiling. Fires ran along walls. Smoke choked the air. Each breath burned. Every step could be their last. They found a drop bay leading to a planet below. The surface glowed with molten rivers and craters. Alien ships fired from orbit, and humans screamed on the ground. Eli hesitated for only a moment, then grabbed her hand. They jumped. The fall was long. They hit hard. Dust and fire covered them. Eli rolled to absorb the impact. Pain shot through his legs. He ignored it and pulled himself to his feet. The alien woman was already moving, scanning the ruined landscape. Her armor was scratched, her breathing steady. She had saved him again. The ground was littered with debris from the battle above. Eli could hear explosions echoing from the orbiting fleet. Smoke and fire made it hard to see. They moved carefully, keeping low, avoiding patrols. Alien drones patrolled the skies. Energy beams cut paths through the air. Each step forward felt like walking into a storm. They found a small group of human survivors. They were dirty, wounded, and scared. Eli recognized some from the destroyed fleet. His heart sank. He had thought them dead. Rage and relief mixed in his chest. The survivors looked at him like he was a hero. Eli only nodded, tense and ready. He did not have time for words. He began training them. Simple drills first. Close combat. Barehanded fighting. Improvised weapons. Eli moved fast, showing them how to strike with precision, how to use speed and strength to survive. The survivors learned quickly. Fear made them sharp. Every movement counted. The alien woman watched silently, occasionally stepping in to demonstrate a move. Her strength was impossible to match. Her movements were fluid, controlled. Eli realized she respected human ability. They were learning from each other without words. He could feel the bond growing, fragile but strong. Suddenly, a massive shadow passed overhead. Alien ships were preparing an assault. The survivors panicked. Eli shouted orders, keeping them focused. He moved them into cover, directing them like a commander who had nothing left to lose. His fists clenched, teeth grinding. He would not let them die without a fight. The alien woman stepped beside him. She pointed toward a ridge overlooking the valley. From there, Eli could see the alien landing craft. Hundreds of soldiers, weapons ready, moving with terrifying speed. The survivors shivered. Eli's jaw tightened. There was no choice. They had to fight. He looked at her. Their eyes met. No words were spoken. A silent understanding passed between them. They would fight together, humans and aliens side by side against the enemy fleet. The thought felt impossible, but necessary. Eli raised his fists. The survivors followed. Their courage burned through fear. The first wave hit. Explosions scattered the dust. Eli punched, kicked, struck, guiding the survivors. He moved like a storm, every action calculated. The alien woman fought beside him, precise and deadly. Together, they became a force that shocked the enemy. Humans moved like predators, using speed, fear, and cleverness. The aliens faltered. Then the ground trembled violently. A massive alien war machine emerged from behind a crater, bigger than any ship they had seen. Its guns glowed with energy. The humans froze. Eli's stomach twisted. They were not ready for this. The alien woman's eyes widened. She had never faced one alone, either. Eli shouted for the survivors to take cover. He clenched his fists, adrenaline surging. The battle was far from over. The next strike would decide life or death. The shadow of the war machine fell over them, and the planet seemed to hold its breath. The fight was just beginning. Eli stood on the ridge, fists tight. The war machine moved slowly, glowing guns scanning for targets. Human survivors crouched behind debris, trembling. Eli shouted orders, moving like a storm among them. The alien woman, Lyra, stepped beside him. Her armor glinted in the burning light. She did not speak. She only nodded toward the machine. Eli understood. They would fight together. He led the survivors forward. Every step was careful, every breath measured. The first humans moved out, throwing crude explosives, striking where the machine was weak. Sparks flew, metal twisted, but the machine did not fall. It fired back. Bullets and energy beams tore through debris. The humans ducked, pressed forward, and struck again. Eli ran, dodging fire, throwing punches, grabbing weapons from fallen aliens. His fists were raw and bruised, but he moved with precision. He struck limbs, joints, weak points. Every hit counted. Behind him, the survivors copied his moves. They fought like predators, striking where the machine's armor was weakest. Lyra fought beside him, fast and lethal. Her strikes were sharp, clean, unstoppable. Together, she and Eli created openings for the humans. They moved as one, humans and alien working in rhythm. Eli could see the shock in the machine's sensors. It had never faced a fight like this. Explosions shook the ground. The humans shouted, rage and fear mixing. Eli took down a drone with a heavy pipe, swinging with all his strength. Sparks and oil flew. Another drone came at him. He punched, twisted, kicked. Its legs collapsed. Lyra grabbed him by the arm. She pointed to the rear of the machine, the core. It glowed red, vulnerable. Eli nodded. They moved fast, rolling under fire, jumping over debris, climbing the wreckage of smaller vehicles. Their speed and aggression confused the machine. Humans poured in behind, striking with makeshift weapons. Eli reached the core. Lyra followed. He placed explosives. Time slowed. He lit the fuse. The machine roared, firing wildly. Eli ducked. Sparks flew. The core exploded. The blast threw him backward. The ground shook. Smoke and fire filled the air. When the dust cleared, the war machine lay broken, sparks and fire pouring from its shattered frame. The humans cheered, some crying, some shaking. Eli rose, battered, bloodied, but alive. Lyra stood beside him, her armor scorched. She did not speak, but her eyes held something powerful. Respect, relief, awe. Eli looked at her, trying to understand. They had survived. They had won. But the sky was not empty. Another shadow moved in orbit. A massive alien ship loomed, far larger than the first. Its engines flared. Its weapons were ready. Eli clenched his fists. The fight was not over. Lyra stepped forward, facing him. She spoke, one word he could understand. "Allie." She extended her hand. Eli hesitated. Trust had been hard-earned. Blood had been shed. But he knew she was right. Together they would stand. The humans rallied behind him. Fear mixed with courage. The alien ship above fired warning beams. Eli took a deep breath. His fists ached. His body screamed. But he was ready. He looked at Lyra. She nodded. They moved forward together, human and alien, ready to face the fleet. Sparks flew, metal bent, fire raged. Every heartbeat felt like a drum of war. Every breath burned. The alien ship hovered above. The humans shouted. Eli gritted his teeth. The war was far from over, but for the first time, he felt something more than survival. He felt that humans could fight, could win, could survive even the impossible. And in that moment, as the massive ship descended, Eli and Lyra raised their hands, ready for the next battle, knowing the fight had only just begun.